We kicked things off this morning by commanding our morning with the Makers House Chapel. You too can start your weekday mornings on a glorious note by joining Dr. Nyamiche as he ushers you into the spirit and into a fantastic day, Mondays to Fridays, 5 a.m. to 5:55 a.m. We've got a lot on our plate this morning, and as I like to say, a lot for you and I to sink our teeth into. Very shortly, we'll be taking a look at what the front pages have to say this morning across the different newspapers. Before that, though, we'll connect with Felicity Ahafianyo. She'll be letting us know what to expect by way of weather in the capital and beyond. A bit of a gloomy day here in Adesawe in Kanta. So far, the weather forecast doesn't indicate that there will be rain, but of course, that is subject to change. We'll keep you informed.
3FM Sunrise.
Thank you for choosing to start your day with us. Also start your day with 3news.com. If you're looking for credible news, all of the latest in the world of entertainment, business, sports, politics, you name it, then do check out 3news.com. We'll zoom into the dailies shortly, but Felicity Ahafianyo joins us on the telephone lines. She'll let us know what to expect by way of weather. Felicity, good morning to you. How are you this morning?
Yeah, good morning, Helen. I am better today than yesterday.
That's fantastic to hear.
Accra.
Much, much greater than Accra this morning. As Johnny likes to say, well, it's a bit overcast here in Adesawe. What can we expect for the rest of the country this morning and beyond?
Thanks so much and good morning to our dear audience. For this morning, we expect it a bit stable across the 16 regions with misty and fog patches over a few places. We expect the sun also today, and then the sky will become partly cloudy. Late afternoon into the evening hours, we expect much areas in the Ashanti, Eastern Volta, part of Uti region, Savannah region, and part of the Brong and then Bono areas, Western North regions. We expect rain and thunder, and we are having between 30 and 40% chance of rain for them. So we are anticipating a wider area that will be involved in it. But the process will start late afternoon, so we just have to be watch out. Once it starts, we should just start heading home. In terms of temperature, we expect 41 degrees Celsius for the north, but some areas around Bole, Damango, their temperatures will be around 36. Kumasi and Eastern Barons, we expect temperatures around 34. Greater Accra, 33. In terms of the sea, we expect it to be rough, but no massive rain clouds is expected over the sea today. We're going to have moderate windy conditions, and then the tidal waves will also be moderate. So fisher folks too just have to be a bit careful when they are navigating over the sea. The water lake this morning, critical for fishing activities and any other work that we do on the lake. By late afternoon to the evening hours, that's when we are expecting the thunderstorm cloud formation with a possibility of moderate wind lightning occurring. So they also have to watch out. Once it starts the clouds started gathering and it's becoming darker. The wind started picking up. They just have to back off, go home, relax, and then continue the next day or after the storm has passed. So this is how we're expecting today, Tuesday, 18th April, to be like in terms of weather.
Lovely. Thank you so much for that update, Felicity. I know that if anything changes, you will let us know.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you.
All right. Have a lovely morning. And that was Felicity Ahafiang, your chief forecaster with the Ghana Met, letting us know what to expect by way of weather. Good morning to you, Mr. Hughes. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm greater than Accra, so always.
As always.
I missed you yesterday.
Yes, I took the day off to really recuperate. But I think I still need another century to really get back on my feet. But it was nice to relax after the birthday shenanigans.
You need another century.
Another century to get back on my feet.
You are an ancestor.
I'm loving what you're wearing this morning. You look very handsome.
Thank you.
What's the occasion?
Well, it's regular Ramadan. You know, we're in the month of Ramadan. So
yes, I think some 4 days to go.
Yeah, solidarizing with my Muslim brothers and sisters.
You are just auditioning for Salah meet.
You know, I've done this for a better part of my career.
Right.
With them, you know, not the entire fasting.
Okay.
Because before theirs is my Lent. It's 40 days Lent for me.
That's right.
You know, prior to Easter. So you can't do a back-to-back.
That's true.
But in solidarity, great thoughts, you're, meditating with them and all of that.
Amazing stuff. 4 days to go.
So good to know that I usually would not do the evening iftar with them.
Okay.
Where they meet and eat. You know, people actually, corner them and go and eat. I don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But will you, when it's all said and done, will you be going for some meat?
Well, it's not about the meat for me. Yeah.
Shall we zoom into what the dailies have for us
Absolutely.
This morning? A number of newspapers in front of us. Johnny, take us away.
The Anchor newspaper this morning, Tuesday, April 18, 2023, says STC bus carrying SHS students involved in accident. Also, homosexual cash hits anti-gay MPs constituencies. Comes with a photo of Sam George Nate, who was here yesterday in the studio to big up Abigail, winner of Talented Kids. Also, Michael Kwete Tete, Emmanuel Bedra, Dela Adjoa Sowa, Alhassan Saibu Suhini, Helen Adjoa Ntoso, Ritana Odole Sowa, and Roxy Nelson Dafia Makpo. Now, these are the MPs. There's one that's missing, who's an MPP MP as well, Reverend John and Tim Fojo.
Right.
He's MP for Asin North. No, Asin South.
Right.
But his picture is not here. I don't know why his picture, whether his constituency is also not under siege. But Sam George, others re-election bid under siege. Christian Muslim communities are silent. Angry CG readers to abandon work over hunger after MD's threat. Ketcher's wife entangled in ID fraud as confusion rocks at Memphis Central and DC. The Daily Guide this morning says Kenyan nabbed for smuggling 11.04 kg of cocaine, and IMF boss lobbies for Ghana. EC holds Kumawu by-election on May 23. Candidates to pay 10,000 Ghana cedis. Latvia foreign minister calls on Akufo-Addo, and I return to Ghana for my husband. Aisha Juan is in the news. What's on the back page? Next, Mike Tyson, who will come from Ghana, UK-based Ghanaian boxer. He makes history there. He beats the guy to pulp. And here we are. We have a champion. Kempon Academy suffers bad officiating. Atiwa East MP holds gala. And Safwa Bebrese remains arrive tomorrow. Also, the final one I have here is the BNFT. Says Republic Bank financial statement Q1 for 2023. So for those of you who save with Republic Bank, that's some news for you. Debt crisis. IMF projections highlight urgent need for government to rebuild fiscal buffers. Reviving fresh chili pepper export industry. Automated premix fuel supply starts year end. Time to rethink funding of free SHS as energy transition threatens financing of the policy. Netco owed 1.2 billion Ghana cedis by customers, spends 120 million Ghana cedis monthly but gets 85 million Ghana cedis. Also, Safari Tissue is up there in the news again. Helen?
All right. Well, the Ghanaian Times this morning has this to say. ECG disconnects TTU, two others over 3.3 million Ghana cedi debt. EC to conduct Kumewu by-election May 23. And you'll see that splashed across the different front pages. Securing 3 billion IMF support. President signs 3 tax bills to pave way for government to bag 4 billion Ghana cedis revenue annually. And that's captured on the front page of the Ghanaian Times. The back page, 2023 domestic outbound tourism survey launched at Winneba. I'm quite keen to find out the results of that survey. The Daybreak newspaper says IMB piracy report false. We'll get into who is alleging that. APAC faults Ganasco's headmaster's interdiction. Dampare meets NDC NPP leadership over recent comments, and we'll read back to you what that communique has to say. The IGP says that they're going to be putting some special interventions in place in the run-up to the elections. Whether or not that is sufficient, given the nature of the comments that were made and the type of reactions that it was greeted with, well, the IGP is in charge, so he seems to know best in this instance.
Well, I think that the IGP, the meeting with the NDC and the MPP was a good call to begin with. But I think that the IGP also is being too moderate. If Helen Apiampo or Johnny Hughes had made those statements that Mr. Brian Echampo or any other political actor had made, because we had seen just weeks apart somebody in the Shanti region making a similar statement, and has been actually put before court. The matter is still before court. So the IGP, I don't know if it's because Mr. Brian Echampo is a big fish, but I think that while the initiative to put the two parties together, to tell them boldly that, look, do your politicking, let us do our policing. Let's draw the fine line and let's deal. That's good. But then it doesn't negate the fact that if somebody goes on the wrong side of the law, either invite the person and caution the person, or invite the person and take a statement and start the prosecution process. Something has to give at some point. But just to tell them that,
come on.
Scratch my. I mean, I think that.
Is that enough of a deterrence?
Well, it sends the wrong signal, if you ask me.
Yeah.
A very wrong signal that, okay, you can be a big... Because, I mean, Honorable Kennedy Japan, for example, what has he said in this country? Who has invited him? He's put people's photos on. I've been a victim of that. My photo up, post Ahmed Swale. you get the point. Yeah. Yes, I mean, Ahmed Swale, we all know what happened to him. That matter is there. He's not being invited by the police in any way. And I'm not talking about IGP Dampare. I'm talking about the police as an institution.
That's right.
He said things. There are people in the NDC who have also said stuff before Brian Echampo and the gentleman in the Ashanti region. What's happening? The standard must be one. In no matter who you are. If John Mahama makes a comment that the MPP has petitioned you and they think that he said something that was untoward, invite John Mahama to speak. Invite him. If you caution him, if you would hear his side of the story, I mean, whatever it is, let's see that we are fair in the application of the same law for every single citizen who is equal before the law. That's all I'm asking.
That's all Johnny wants this morning. The ABC newspaper, STC bus carrying SHS students crashes on Kaswa Cape Coast Highway, and Africa must break the shackles of the mindset of impossibility. Vice President Bawumia speaking there. That's in line with his campaign message. He says it is possible. Lastly,
well, is he saying this because yesterday I played a video of his leader or his boss, our leader, the President of the Republic, some 5 or so years ago, speaking with the French President, Emmanuel Macron, and he tell him that, the statement he's going to make, he doesn't wish that it would ruffle some feathers elsewhere, but he believes that Africans should be capable enough to take care of their education and their health budgets.
Yeah.
You know, that's more like Ghana beyond aid.
Absolutely.
Now it looks like we're a country in aid, Ghana in need of aid. That's where we are. So what's Dr. Bawumia talking about? And you see, all of this will come back to his desk because he still is the head of the economic management team. He was the one who even outdoored them and even made mockery of the opposition's economic management team and suggested that they can't even remember who their economic management team members are.
Which is ironic because we also cannot remember who it is. Well, we remember because we have the tapes, but we're not seeing your presence, especially at a time like this. We're not feeling you.
We're not feeling you. Gold for oil, fuel prices are still going up. Yeah, so we're not feeling you, and it's not about talk anymore. We've had too much of the talk. I mean, you came to power with talk. You are still governing us with talk. Where are the results? Show the scorecard. Let's see the scorecard. That's all. That's all the people are asking for.
That's very important. Finally, the Finder newspaper, IGP unveils 2 major election security interventions. We've touched on that briefly. Thieves steal 14 computers of blind students at Okyapiman SHS. No mercy for those who can't even see.
Challenged.
ECG loses some 1 billion cedis to power theft annually. MD appeals to public to report perpetrators, and Ghana Armed Forces seizes over 20,000 pieces of illegal explosives in Takwa. And that's what we have this morning on the front pages.
Let's get into the Anchor newspaper, and page 2 of the paper says, well, homosexual clash hits anti-gay MP's constituency. Sam George others re-election bid under siege. Christian Muslim communities silent. It's a news desk report. It says the re-election bid of the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram constituency, Sam Onati George, and those of his colleagues who initiated the private members bill to criminalize LGBTQ activities in the country are currently under siege in their respective constituencies ahead of the NDC's primaries slated for May 13 this year. The Anchor is informed that the MPs have been receiving a good run for their monies in the last few weeks from contenders they initially did not consider as a threat to their chances. These aspirants, according to information, are waging a very lush campaign to the chagrin of delegates after returning from a short trip outside their constituencies during the Easter break. Some unknown individuals were also said to have visited anti-gay MPs' constituencies in recent days. It is unclear what their missions were. It's however not clear where some of these aspirants are getting their source of funding and resources from, given the nature of the campaign they are waging to unseat the anti-gay MPs. This is it. That the people vanish, they come, they have plenty money. Charlie, they are all over the place. And you see, maybe the president's undecidedness on this particular matter. One time he says it will never happen. One time he says it is bound to happen. At some point he says not under my presidency. You're wondering exactly what his actual position is.
That's right.
Because the leaders before him, Jerry Rawlings, had his point well made. John Ajikum Kufuor, same. John Evans Atta Mills, same. John Mahama, same. Even though John Mahama was linked to Andrew Solomon, who is a known, gay, and people are asking, okay, if all these predecessors of yours have been able to make these comments, what prevents you from making a bold comment? A very, very bold comment, and this will come on the back of Kamala Harris's visit.
That's right.
So people will speculate, and people will speculate because we left a certain space for them to speculate. There's legislation. look at the speed with which we passed the three bills.
Yeah.
They call one the sin tax. So if you like alcohol, you like tobacco, you like all those things, it's considered a sin, and you pay sin tax.
Your extra tax
even
for that.
before you go to hell to meet Satan, you're paying for your sins here.
Goodness
already.
me.
And the president immediately has signed it. We're able to rally everybody in parliament to do that. Kennedy Chipon has told us how he spent 1 million Ghana cedis to get a certain independent candidate, so-called independent candidate, to do business with the majority side, in order to get all of these, agenda of the government go through. What is the sense of urgency in trying to get this anti-gay bill passed? Because the last time I heard the president, he told Kamala Harris that Parliament is working at it.
Yeah.
There's been a significant change in what the draft bill looks like, and which members of the committee came and said, no, please. The last time we interviewed Sam George here, he said the Attorney General was filibustering. Thankfully, he has come back on the road, around the table with them, and they are making progress. But the president's loud silence on a certain bold decision, he may have it in his head. We are not in his head. We in no way can know what is in his head unless he speaks. So what is he saying to us as leader of the country?
Maybe he doesn't want to rock the boat too much, especially at a time like this. And when I say at a time like this, I'm referring to our economic
IMF
woes.
issues.
Exactly. So you see what happened with, was it Uganda that recently?
Kenya.
And the kind of fracas, the international outrage. He's probably thinking he has a lot on his head already as it stands. Is he willing to incur the wrath of his home people? I think he can manage you and I, as opposed to incurring the wrath of the outside world. I think that at this point in time is not something he's willing to contend with. So as you said, he might have his own strong position in his head and how he wants it to go, but I don't think he was willing to bring that out forcefully or fully, because we are on delicate waters here.
But the president has to lead from the front.
Right.
And something has to give. If you have principles and you have values, those values will be shown or demonstrated depending on how you carry yourself about and how your methods and composure and character is, shown to the people. The president has a duty to Ghanaians. The totality of Ghanaians may not be in support of the bill.
That's right.
But to the extent that the two large religions in this country, the Christian community and the Muslim community, have both sung in unison to say, we don't want it. Catholic bishops' conferences have, spoken widely about it. We all know how people have tried to attach gayism to the Catholic Church, because of the oath of celibacy that the priests swear and all of that. But here in Ghana, we need to contextualize the conversation. When the Catholic Bishops' Conference speak, that's like the whole Catholic communion in Ghana telling you, no. There was an instance where flip-flop from the Anglican Church, my church, where, at some point, some support, and then there was another letter to say, no, you cannot make a decision for us. We are not in support. The Muslim community have spoken about it. We've seen traditionalists speak about it. We've seen the likes of lawyer Fuamwini, very reputable individuals speak about it. And an argument has been made, for example, that, look, when Vice President of the U.S., Kamala Harris, came into this country, she was here for only 3 days.
Correct.
She came with her husband. On a short visit, 3 days official visit, she came with her husband because she recognizes the essence of the opposite sex in her life.
But some might argue that is her orientation. When she spoke about human rights, I think especially in relation to this bill, I don't know whether we have fully appreciated what this bill is trying to do or what it seeks to do, if you will. Maybe if there's more education. I think what I've heard proponents of the bill talk about the most is the protection of young ones from the influence, the outside influence. And I think that needs to be highlighted, because after a certain point, if you say we live in a secular state and they are adults who have of consenting age and are doing whatever they want to do in private, there's some sort of infringement on private life. I get that we have to contextualize it because we have a certain cultural background and we can't all be the same. A point was made, if you go to Saudi Arabia and these countries do business with them, you dare not
speak about it. But the point,
you don't even cross that line.
But Helen, the point is that what you do in your bedroom, what I do, what William does, what Phil does, is nobody's business, not my spiritual business.
That's right.
But to the point where you want recognition for what you do indoors, that's where the issue is.
Right.
So Kamala Harris, for example, talks about gayism being a human rights issue presently. Some proponents here have also said that, look, what do you call it? Marrying multiple women, right? Polygamy is also a human right. You dare not practice polygamy in the United States. You dare not.
Some are doing it in Utah, but they are
but
under covers.
Again, so you don't do it publicly.
That's right.
So the whole point I'm making is that you have your rights. Deal with it. People have been gay in this country for so long.
Before the advent of the white man.
19 Kojoho. Martin Bebu says he knows senior lawyers who are gay and that he will not be the one to speak for them and that they are equally qualified to speak for their community. So they should come out and speak for themselves. He said it on live TV on Key Point.
That's right.
On a beautiful Saturday, shiny morning. So the point is not about whether or not people are gay or not. The point is about how we got here. You remember the comprehensive sexuality education?
I recall that, yes.
And how NACA, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, the Christian Council, all of those ones, they spoke about it, which is why the children still do not have textbooks in our schools. Because that was supposed to be in the curriculum.
Right.
To tell the children that gender is not just about male and female, but there are other options that you can choose. Okay, so tomorrow I can wake up and say I'm in love with this microphone I'm speaking with. I want to wed the microphone and make the microphone my partner.
Was that also
for life.
Included in the textbook?
But the plus that is added, LGBTQIA plus. That's the point.
The microphone was
As
added.
for the plus.
The possibilities are endless.
Yes. When I wake up tomorrow, I say, I feel like another microphone. I want to marry this microphone.
There's a lady who got married to the Eiffel Tower. She said she was in love with it so much. They did a ceremony with her on the Eiffel Tower.
In Mariam.
Finish.
Yes. So the point is that yesterday I was just discussing coincidentally this with somebody.
Right.
And he says, look, those who make the argument for the gay law, okay, not the anti-gay law, the gay law to be recognized, human rights and all of that. He says...
You can put me in that category to a certain extent, so let's go.
So you like Aponche Kakra and Fufu?
I like Aponche Kakra and Fufu, I do.
Okay. If two male goats were locked up and they were asked to procreate for you to have your Aponche Kakra and Fufu, would you have had it?
Thankfully, there are other Aponche Kakras who go in the line that I go, male, female. So they are the majority. They will do it for us, They are the majority, and I can count on them to
William, welcome. Good
morning.
Let's
say good morning to Mr. William Estiedu.
The subject for me is a very simple one. The state has a responsibility to protect the process of recreation.
That's right.
Procreation. If there's no procreation, there's no state.
True.
So that's where the crux of the matter is. We cannot legislate against gayism, but at least we can legislate against gay marriage. But at the end of the day, if we are not going to procreate or have more children, who is going to inhabit the state?
There
will be no state.
I think the majority are procreating. We can count on them.
Yeah, but you see, where now they are making an effort to more or less get more people in that thing. When we were growing up, it was there. The word was soupy.
It's been there.
So where there's a conscious effort to bring in everybody, that's where the state will step in.
Absolutely. Well, it is some 14 minutes to the top of the hour, 4 minutes until Johnny is biting. But 3FM Sunrise comes your way this Thursday, 20th April 2023, from the historic suburb of Jamestown. So be our guest as we highlight the challenges of the Jamestown